Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna go and get this started because it's quite hot where I live at the moment and my 20 euro capture card is struggling. I mean, who would have thought that a 20 euro capture card would have issues? Anyway, today is just gonna be more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I need to grind up Pokemon, so I need to start doing that. So let's start off by visiting Articuno. Now I have to go back to Poliwrath. Kick Poliwrath out of the team. And then the two Pokemon that are up for training today are Loudred into Explode and Pineco into Fortress. So let's go get the Loudred first. $17 against 10. Wait, 17? Oh yeah, no, that's not good. Like, Loudred doesn't evolve until level 40. That's great. Level 18 Pineco and a... Yeah, I'll evolve this one. Alright, this one's gonna be fun because if you evolve Ninkara, you get Ninjask, and then if you go to the friend area, shit Ninja will just be there. But yeah, who would have thought that a 20 euro capture card that I bought on a whim from not even a proper store, like a proper electronics store, would have issues? Weirdly enough, it hasn't done that in like ever since I started out, so it might also be a problem with Windows. I mean, Windows is known for being a pretty dodgy system anyway. The only reason why I still have it is because all my Vocaloids are on it. That includes a handful that just can't be transferred to Mac. Anyway, today's stream is just gonna exist out of me going through Makuita Dojo. Team Hydro, to be more specific. I need to relink Articuno's moves because it stepped on a trap I like. Linked moves. Yeah. So I'm back to this technique. It's gonna give me 4200 and something more EXP every single time I beat Team Hydro. Yeah, Pineco needs to get to level 31. Safe to say, I'm not gonna see either one of these evolve today. Like, at all. Not gonna happen. One small thing, did I? Oh yeah, I kinda forgot that. I forgot to cancel the Saturday and Sunday streams because I'm actually at TwitchCon so I kind of forgot to cancel them because, well, can't stream if I'm not at home. That's gonna be a bit of an issue. This Banco leveled up. I also need to replenish my supply of joy seeds. Because I did use them to evolve a lot of Pokemon. And I just went through all of them. But one of the Pokemon I evolved was Larvitar, so... I'm still not certain if Tyranitar is considered a pseudo-legendary or not. Nevertheless, it's a cool Pokemon. So this is the plan for this evening. I'm not gonna, both Panko and Loudred are not gonna evolve this stream. That's gonna be a bit unfortunate. Oh no, I just for a second thought that Pineco passed over the water, but no, apparently it can't. Perhaps we are gonna see Pineco evolve, because that thing just doesn't have EXP needs. Yeah, I need to check like how much EXP Pineco is gonna need now, because I don't think it needs that much. Yeah, no, that's nothing. I do really hope it keeps up that EXP curve for a little bit longer, because like 1800. That means it might, theoretically, if the next one is also 1800, means it theoretically can level up twice this round. I would like that if it like levels up twice. Because if that's the case, then Pineco is gonna get level 31 like really fast. So let's hope that it keeps having this like forgiving EXP curve, because if that's the case, then yeah, Pineco can evolve this stream. And there it goes. It's now level 22. And should have barely anything left for the next level up. Yeah, 361, so that he's just gonna level up next round anyway. I'm still gonna keep a lookout for joy seeds. Yep, there it is, leveled up again. Okay, now it still needs less EXP than what it's gonna get, so it's gonna level up twice this round. And Lyrant is leveling up. It's good to see that they do level up a bit. I mean, that's a frustrating one. For instance, if you have like one of the pseudo legendaries, you're easily looking at like a 20 or 30,000 EXP curve. Which is so nice and annoying. Because that means that if you are lucky, you get to level it up like once every hour. I'm not gonna be keeping all the pseudo legendaries till last because that just means that in the end I only have like the difficult ones to evolve, and this way there's like a bit of a mixture. Some are gonna be a pain in the arse while others are gonna evolve in under 20 minutes. Because I really don't want to be stuck at the end of it all with like 5 pseudo legendaries that aren't really gonna level up. Wait, it just... Panko just leveled up twice. Yeah, no, that Pokemon is definitely gonna hit level 31 before the end of the stream. Okay, that's actually gonna be something. And another joy seed. The game is generous. Insomniscope. That was a good purchase. I don't think joy seeds can go bad. I don't think they were that cruel. Which is saying a lot because this game can be brutally unforgiving. Like the time I used to be stuck in certain dungeons as a child, like that was almost like Dark Souls levels of stuck. Just slowly chipping away at like one or two Pokemon that you could take out, and then you would get a level up. Also, another Joy Seed? That's like 3 in a row. But I have to admit, like, as a child, I kind of didn't have the best combination. Like, I was a Totodile and my partner was Trico. That was like my first playthrough. I also remember one time deliberately going for Psyduck and Chikorita. That's not a combination. What was I thinking going for a Psyduck and Chikorita combination? I think I thought it looked cute. But yeah, I have beaten the game with a Psyduck Chikorita combination. And Cubone and Pikachu, which means that Pikachu cannot use its electric type moves. Chikorita as a main Pokemon, and what was it again? But I believe like Torchic as partner, because Torchic is the only fire type that doesn't learn Smokescreen. Because both Charmander and Cyndaquil learn Smokescreen. Yeah, 27 already. I know that Pineco is gonna evolve. I'm just gonna ignore that Poliwag that's asleep. Oh. I'm still wondering what people talk about during streams. I mean, I always presume that people that like do streaming have interesting lives, which frankly I just don't have. I'm kinda stuck in the waking up, going to work, coming back, having lunch, going back to work again, and then coming home again loop. Is there anything interesting I saw today? There were a couple of wild rabbits and hares in a field. Normally I try to film those, but if they're too far away, because I don't have the most modern phone, it just doesn't work and it just looks like a couple of brown blobs in a field. I saw some ducklings, but again, too far away and too brown against the brown background. So I just simply can't photograph or film those. Yeah, I spend about 2 hours a day on my bicycle going back and forth between home and work, and I live in the farmer part of the country, so it's a lot of farmland, but it also means quite a decent amount of wildlife. Haven't seen the storks in a while. Might be they're too busy raising their young at the moment. It's currently just chunky rabbits and hares. And when I say chunky, I really mean it. Like, I believe that in a lot of countries at the moment there is a ban on hunting them because in the last 3 years, like the wild rabbit and hare population, like was cut in half, which is worrying. So this year, because you're not permitted to hunt them, they get like a couple of years to like re-establish their amounts. But that also means that they can just sit in a field munching away, because a rabbit can be caught by a lot of predatory birds, but like a hare, there's only one type of predatory bird that can take it on. And not even consistently. And beyond that point, because the country doesn't really have wolves anymore, they just don't have a natural predator. But they have like a natural predator when they're like young still, but the moment they're adults, they basically don't have natural predators anymore. Do have to look up how it's going with like the tiny little wolf pack in the Netherlands, because the wolves did make the decision to re-establish themselves in a protected forest. I mean, it's the Netherlands, it's not a big chunk. But they did make the decision to re-establish themselves there, coming over originally, like, one of them was like microchipped. One of them, I don't know if it was the male or the female, originally comes from Poland. And the other one is unmicrochipped, because a lot of wolves in Europe are actually microchipped at this point. And they did have a litter of pups. So, and there were also like a couple of like lone rogue wolves, not an actual like wolf pack, but just like 1 or 2 loose ones. But the wolves in Europe are doing pretty decent, and nobody knows how or why they're doing it. Like, they were practically gone because of hunting, habitat loss, and like stuff like that. And now they seem to be abundant. And nobody knows how that happened. If like there are like numerous theories on it. One of them is that they now just have also made the decision to move it to like take an example from foxes and like move into cities and like go through garbage bins. But there are also people that say, listen, that are just like think that the population never was as low as we thought it was. But we simply just couldn't find them. Because a lot of those come from Eastern Europe and they still have like really large like stretches of forest and like proper habitat for them. So there's also just a chance they just lost a couple of packs of wolves in the forest. And it's not like the thing in Ukraine has driven them here, because they came over and established themselves before that started. So it's not like they migrate, it's not like they moved either. They kind of just came over here, saw that we had like a nice like park which well, has a lot of sheep in it. Which has like an awful lot of like deer and sheep in it. Like the deer are wild, but the sheep are domesticated sheep. So they probably just came to the Netherlands and like saw a buffet and made the decision that that's what. And they just saw a buffet and then just make the decision that that was gonna be it. That was just where they were gonna live, because I say they have domesticated sheep, but they are free roam domesticated sheep. So I can imagine that like the wolves came over here, saw like the free roam, like domesticated sheep, so they don't know what a wolf is. They don't know you're supposed to run from them. They usually don't even have a guard dog there, because the only reason why people keep dogs around their sheep is to protect them from wolves. And then they just saw a walking buffet and just... I would not even have been surprised if like one of the sheep would have like walked up to one of the wolves and like had a sniff to see what it was. But yeah. No wolves know where I live. I have to say one thing though, the wolves do live kinda close by, because they live in... yeah, a protected part of like nature, called the Veluwe. And I actually live like 45 minutes away from that. But on the other hand, I live in the Netherlands. I live 45 minutes away from a lot of things. I mean, I also live 45 minutes away from multiple parts of the shoreline. And from 2 man-made islands. And what else do I live 45 minutes away from? Multiple cities. Which is kind of weird, because if you look at like Google, according to that, the trip to the nearest city should take about 20 minutes, but I believe in practice I've never done it under 45. It's one of those parts of like the traffic, of like the highway system that's just stuck. I usually just take the non-highway route. I don't know how you call it. It's not really a shortcut, because it's not actually shorter. But it's... I don't know if other countries have it as well, that like the local population doesn't use the highway because they know like... basically some smaller roads that lead to the same place as the highway. But they tend to be less congested. I don't know what you call that. A And then it like, we in the Netherlands have like a word for it, and it like translates to sneak route. Because it's quite often only known to the locals or people that have... But even like people with navigation systems quite often can't utilize them as efficiently as the locals. I don't know if that's a thing in other countries, because I'm still utterly convinced I can drive from one part of the Netherlands, that I can drive entirely from north to south through the country without having to use the highway. I'm like utterly convinced. No, perhaps I do have to use the highway at one point because you need a bridge because of the massive rivers in between the country that run straight through the country, and I believe those bridges are only highway bridges. And like a couple of... Oh, cyclists and pedestrians probably use the ferry. A lot of those rivers have like, for cyclists and pedestrians and like scooters and stuff like that, have like little ferries that like set you across. And they work even in like both low and high water, so... They're kind of cute, because the one that I used to take, because that was one that you could take to Belgium. It was like the most dingy thing ever, like existing out of, well, mostly wooden planks, of which quite a fair few of them were loose. But that thing survived storms and bad weather, floodings, snow, ice. That thing just endured. That one was special though, because it could take an entire car with it. But only if there was enough water, but also not too much water, because if it would be either too high water or too low water, it wouldn't be able to carry the car. Because if the water would be too high, then the boat would be too high for the on and off ramps that you have to use for the car. And if it would be too low, then just the weight of the car would beach it. So it was just mostly used for by pedestrians and cyclists and people on a scooter. And even then, if the water is low enough, then the ferry doesn't work because it's too low, so it's beach. But by that point, if you take off your shoes and like roll up your pants, you can just walk through it. And like a lot of people would just full on cycle through it. Like it's not a lot of water. That actually sounds quite a stupid sentence. Like, oh yeah, the ferry wasn't going, so I just cycled through a river. In how many countries can you say that? But also in like, how many countries would people not be surprised? Because if I would say this in the Netherlands, oh yeah, the ferry across the river wasn't going, so I just cycled through it because it was low enough, nobody would be surprised. But I can imagine that in a lot of other countries, people would be very much surprised. And also perhaps a bit worried. I'm not gonna stand there until it's exhausted Bubble. Bubble has 40 PP. And here we are back at Team Hydro. Also, Fortress stopped. No, Pineco stopped leveling up quickly. Yeah, no, he definitely stopped leveling up quickly, but he still only needs like 3 more levels. Not 30, 31, 2 more levels. Weather is finally cooling down again, so I've got the window open. Because you can say whatever you want with fans and stuff like that. I still think that just putting your window open the moment it starts cooling down in the evening is just a better solution. Because fans, because they have movement, will also produce heat. It's kind of weird because you buy a fan to cool you down, but a fan has to produce heat in order to cool you down. Think about it that way. Does that make fans a scam? Because you buy something to cool you down, but it has to heat up, but it has to produce heat in order to cool you down. That's the idea. Does that make fans a scam? Because an AC heats up and they have like an exhaust to the outside. But a fan doesn't have that, so that heat will just get stuck in the room again. So no wonder my boyfriend's room is hotter than mine. I mean, he always... So I open up a window, he always has a fan running. And before anybody starts complaining about that being... draining a lot of electricity and being bad for the environment, we have solar panels. We have like brand new, less than 6-month-old solar panels on the roof, so... I believe this is the first time that it missed the attack. Yeah, that was the first time it missed. Oh, and there load rate also goes. Is that poor loud rate ever gonna learn anything useful? Oh no. Oh, loud red. More joy seeds. I should probably also do those 2 joy seed missions another time. Perhaps I'll make a start on those on Monday. I am looking forward to TwitchCon this Saturday. Didn't even check the program. I'm just going in blind. There we are. Fortunately, they don't give off as much EXP if you don't take them out in one go. Lot of sleeping Poliwags. That's a good thing because that means I'm less likely to encounter another one. Poliwags really don't give off EXP, do they? They really don't give off EXP. Again? Can you two stop surviving? You're tampering with the level ups. More joy seeds. That makes it 6. At least that's going well. Loudred has such a goofy walk cycle. Its legs are clearly too short. They should stop surviving. Also, I think Pineco entered a new EXP curve. Yeah, no, that's definitely a new one. Hitting, well, quite a fair few of fair bit of EXP in order to level up now. It's one of those Pokemon that levels up quick in the beginning and then in the end starts absolutely having a horrendous one. While in the meantime, Loudred is just consistently obnoxious. One more round for Pineco. There it is, one Pineco to level 31. And I lowered it to level 24. Good, because that now means I can go and evolve my Pineco. There it is, one evolvable Pineco. That is one thing about going for the complete Pokédex. You at least have to transform into almost every single Pokémon once. Oh no, it just retracts it into a challenger, spins about a bit. Whee! It's like a spinning top. I know for certain it's not a spinning top Pokemon because I believe that's Hippotop, but... yeah, that gives me the Fortress. Also, Ninkara into Ninja happens at level 20, so... a bit of luck that actually happens quite quickly. Look at it go! I'm easily entertained. Especially seeing as I don't think I've seen a fortress before, like, in this game. And yes, I know I'm easily entertained. I mean, I'm still playing this game. 14 and... Yeah, I'll get you. No specific reason. And I believe I was training up you. Yeah, that one. Also, if that louder explodes, then that's also Echo Cave, I believe, done. No, I'm saving after. It is progressing nicely, actually, because it's not progressing that great, because I just remembered I still need to get all like the Joyous Tower and Purity Forest Pokemon. It's a good thing that Poliwags are a nuisance and not a threat. Now poison, that's a threat if I don't find the exit quickly enough. Also, does Nagata actually know no moves? Yeah, Fury Swipe, Scratch and Leech Life. Not that great, but it's not horrible either. One or two more runs. Kecleon, the only Pokemon in this game that also has a shiny sprite. I'm one of the few that like keeps coming back. Like, I'm still wondering that because there are multiple Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games that have the Kecleon brothers running the shop. It's always a different one for the training. It's a different one for the bank. Is it like is like the Kecleon market? Is that like a chain, like a convenience store that just only employs Kecleon? Is that like a thing? I believe in the games that doesn't have a storage box, it's also Kangaskhan storage. And some of the games they decided to be fancy and get rid of like both the bank and the storage and like put a box there that would function for those, but I didn't like that. Yeah, sure, it's convenient and everything, but I kinda liked having to go to a bank and like having to go visit Kangaskhan for like the storage. I mean, it would have been nice if like the box would be put at like the entry of the dungeon, so you can like, so you don't have to go into town to like get your stuff. Like a little bit like Pokemon Explorers of Sky gave you the option to summon Chimecho to the dungeon entrances, so you wouldn't have to go inside of the guild to customize your team. Which is especially convenient after the post game, because then you're not living at the guild anymore. So you basically don't have to go in it or go near it. You could just summon Kecleon. Alright, last run. Provided I don't get stuck behind a tree. It's a good thing the friendly fire is only a thing when you're confused. And for certain moves, but it lists off that it... If a move lists that it... I believe it has like a specific wording of it. It like specifies it will hit both friends and foes in like the dungeon. Oh, come on, Laura, not again. I'm starting to have the feeling that Loudred isn't the smartest. Neither am I. Because I now have to loop all the way back for the exit. Yeah, that took longer than expected. Okay, so that worked out. Also, Ninkara does not seem to have a nice level up curve either. But on one end, it doesn't have to get that high a level. It only has to get to level 20. I remember doing that in Pokemon Emerald and like the grass where you could catch it. Like, go and grind it up to level 20. But that's coming from the same person that had heard that in Leaf Green and Fire Red. Now, I had heard that in like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, no, Red, Blue, and Green, if you evolved your starter Pokemon before getting the Pokédex, you would soft lock. And I was wondering if it would still work in Fire Red, which is the Game Boy Advance remake. So I trained up my Charmander to a Charmeleon in like Route 1. And then it didn't soft lock. Because by that point they had built in a tiny little protection that still worked. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's stream. Thank you all very much for coming. Hope you had a good time. Next stream is gonna be tomorrow, and then the next stream after that is gonna be Monday. Again, I'm going to TwitchCon on Saturday, and that means I'm gonna need a very long nap on Sunday. That's just how it works for me. So yeah, till next time, bye!